Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and we're going to be talking about how to mod Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I did make a video on this in the past. I want to kind of update it, show you guys some resources that you can use to see how your Kylo stacks in comparison to the rest of the game, and explain the reasoning of why I'm going to recommend modding him the way that I do. We're going to be doing this for all Galactic Legends. When I released my video talking about one of the mistakes people make is making their GLs too fast in comparison to the rest of their rosters, people were like, it'd be really good if you could show us how to mod GL. So we're going to start with Kylo here. We'll go to Rey and keep moving on down the road. So let's get into the video, how to mod Kylo. But first and foremost, got to thank the channel members so much for their continued support. If you're interested in joining, there's a link down below. Otherwise, all I can ask is that you hit that thumbs up button to like, subscribe, and comment. Let's get in here, guys. So with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, right, the Vader from Wish.com, there's three stats we're going to place above all the rest that play a significant amount of importance to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, right? These are the three most important statistics. Now, the first one is health. Now, the reason why health is more important is because Kylo has no protection recovery throughout his kit, right? Like, if you look in here, there's no way he can recover protection. His base protection is low. He has no way that he can actually regenerate any protection that he's lost. The only way he would regenerate any kind of protection is if there's a healer on his team that can give him some, or through, like, you know, Wat Tambor tank tech or something. Like, he's not going to be gaining max protection, or not going to be gaining protection back. So that leaves you with health, right? That you need to be focused on the health steal, right? With health steal being, I dealt 100,000 damage. Based on a 40% health steal, I'm going to be recovering 40% health, or 40,000 health. So just keep that in mind of how health steal works there. So number 3 is health, right? That's the third most important statistic. There are ways, though, that Kylo Ren can gain or lose max health. And it's an inverse relationship with turn meter. When a dark side ally, which includes himself, right? When a dark side ally loses turn meter, they gain 10% of their current max health and protection, stacking until the end of battle. So right there, when you lose turn meter, you're gaining max health. It's harder to kill Kylo if you remove his turn meter. But on the flip side, if he's gaining bonus turn meter, and again, this goes to his whole team, but we're just looking at him in particular. When Kylo gains bonus turn meter, he loses 10% of his current max health and protection. So I have I have General Hux here as an example that with his devious scheme, right, this ability, he dispels debuffs on himself and the target other ally. And then you grant the other ally a bonus turn. So here, and remember, if Hux has advantage, he resets the cooldowns, but the bonus turn negates any gain or loss of max health, right? It negates that. It says, hey, he didn't gain any turn meter, he didn't lose turn meter, he just got a bonus turn. So right there, beautiful. Whereas with First Order Officer, when you use his marching orders, you are gaining 100% turn meter. So you will be taking away 10% max health and protection from your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren when using this ability. Now, using this once or twice throughout the course of battle is not a massive deal. In fact, it's something that I do frequently because getting Kylo more turns to stack his mastery is very important. But if you use it a lot, as you would see, you would take away Kylo's max health and protection. Now, characters like Jedi Master Luke, who's a common counter for Kylo, right? He removes turn meter on his AoE ability. You remove turn meter. So when you do that, yes, you're dealing damage, but you're increasing Kylo's survivability. Same thing with Old Ben when you use Mind Tricks. If you remove turn meter from him, he's gaining max protection there. So just keep those things in mind, or gaining max health there. That's why health is so important, because he can't really recover his protection, but he can use health steal to regenerate his health. And the big thing that stops Kylo is any kind of healing immunity, particularly when it's locked, because health steal is the key to keeping him alive. Number 2 here, is speed, right? He needs to be fast. You can't ignore speed on him. He does gain 30 speed through his leadership ability, but you want to have some good speed on him. It becomes very, very important that you have speed, right? Don't need to go more into detail than that. And then finally, number 1 is offense, which a lot of people say, well, Phil, what about critical damage? Because in his kit, he doesn't gain offense, he gains critical damage, and you would be very correct. The problem is there's a lot of characters in the game that stop critical hits, and I'm just going to show a few examples. Number 1 being Lord Vader, which is Kylo's a very common character to use to counter Lord Vader. When Lord Vader, right, like when Empire and Darkseid unaligned Force user allies are at certain health thresholds, they gain different benefits. And when they're below 80% health, which is a lot of the time in this battle, they're going to be below 80% health, they can't be critically hit. So if you modded your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for crazy amounts of critical damage, it's completely negated once Lord Vader's below 80% health. So you're missing out on extra damage because you can't critically hit him. Same thing with Jedi Master Kenobi. If at the start of battle all allies are light side, any Galactic Republic ones can't be critically hit when they have protection up. And they will have protection up a lot in that battle. So again, really nerfing Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's damage if he can't be critically hitting them. So if you've modded him for critical damage, you're missing out on what you could be, your full damage potential because you can't critically hit. Even Malicos now, right? You see in here that, at the start of battle, all unaligned Force user allies gain critical hit immunity for 2 turns with his Omicron here. So really, really limiting the amount of damage Kylo does when he can't critically hit. And again, even Master Luke through his AoE grants crit hit immunity as well. So that's why I say offense is so important. Because offense just is always on. It doesn't matter if you can't be critically hit or not, you're going to be dealing more damage. The key here with Kylo is finding the balance between these 3 statistics. You don't want to sacrifice crazy amounts of health for everything, but you don't want to have like no speed, and you want to make sure that you've got enough offense that you're hitting hard. Because remember, the harder you're hitting, the more Kylo's gaining health steal, which is going to keep him alive. So let me show you guys my mods for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So I'm running a speed set and a health set. On my square, we've got offense. It has to be offense. Here, you pay attention to the secondaries. We've got health percent and we've got speed. On the diamond, again, you can't change this from defense. So we're focusing on the fact that this has speed, offense, and health. Again, trying to ramp as much as I can, get as many of those stats as I can muster. Down here, we've got a health primary with speed and offense percent. Again, similar situation there, right? You see all 3 of those represented. The arrow here, while there's no health percent, we've got 25 speed and we've got 8.5% offense. It's really important. Here, you see I'm sacrificing speed. I could have a speed arrow here, but I'd be missing out on 8.5% offense, right? It's just something that I really, really preach here, that you want to have a lot of offense. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Phil, you have critical damage, and you basically were just crapping on critical damage there. You need to pay attention to secondaries. I have 7.47% offense on this mod. The max you can get on a triangle is 8.5, right? Look at this, 8.5 on my Darth Revan. So I'm missing 1.03% offense on this mod. But I'm gaining 42% critical damage plus speed. I'm going to take that all day long with Kylo. I want this mod. Like, I need it for Kylo to be able to hit hard and get that critical damage boost when it's necessary in other battles. So I really like this mod. This is the way I try to use critical damage, is making sure I have offense percent. And then finally down the cross, offense percent, health, and speed. Again, the 3 stats we really want to keep in mind. I've even got flat health here. So, and room on these mods, you can see there's room to calibrate a bunch of these if I wanted to get some more stats if possible. So that's how I mod Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, right? What we're going to do now is I'm going to go to this page right here, and we're going to go to StarWarsGalaxyofHeroes.gg. What I'd like to show you guys is how you can compare your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to the rest of the game. So if you go on here, and what you can do is, we're going to back out real quick. You can go to you can type in Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on the units page. And if you go down to this little tab here and click Best Mods, this will break down by your GAC bracket or even top 100 guilds. I would ignore the top 100 guilds because the Kyber stats are better than that. So you could look at Kyber, Erodium, Chromium, Bronzium, and Carbonite. You can see what the most popular mod sets are, what the most popular mods that you can actually change their primary stats, because remember, your square and your diamond are always offense and defense respectively. So you only get to really customize the right side and the circle between health and protection. So tells you that, and then you can just see what the average stats are for that Kylo. So for me, comparing to Kyber, which is where I have to face, I've got speed and health. My arrow, I meet all of these, except that my arrow is offense rather than speed. But this is where you want to pay attention to, is that you've got the average stats here. So most players have him at Relic 8. If we go back to mine real quick, you can see that mine is only, whoops. See, I've only got mine at relic 7, so I'm missing out there. So now let's go and let's look at some other statistics here. So we go back. The average for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for speed is 551, and his average health is 132,000. And then we'll go to damage, where it's just over 12,000 damage as the average for Kyber. So if I go into my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, my speed is 550, so I'm just shy of the average there. I do have more than the average health at 133, right? Again, barely above it, so like, switch these a little bit. And then for offense, again, I am barely above it with 12,184. So for Kyber, my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is average in terms of the stats. Obviously not for the relic, but in terms of stats, he's average. So if I was to take him to relic 8, I would be well above, I'd probably be above that average because I'm already hitting those average numbers with a below average relic Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Again, mods playing a very big factor here in how I'm able to utilize him. Right? So that's how you can compare to, and again, I showed where you can compare to the rest of the game. I find that to be a really great resource. That tab can kind of give you a lot of good information, and you can compare how you can get there. And I guess you guys haven't been able to see this. There, relic 7, sorry. My face is covering it. So now let's go in, and I'm going to show you guys kind of why I have the balance that I do. So if I was to go in here, right, and you could create other mod sets for your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Again, I could mod him for a lot of health, I could mod him for a lot of offense, or I could mod him for a lot of speed. So if I went the speed route here, you see I'm losing health, right? I gain a lot more speed. I'm almost at 600 speed. My critical damage has to go down, and my offense goes down. Not crazy, but it goes down enough, right? The big thing there is that my offense and my critical damage are going down, all for the sake of speed. And again, if you saw, look at the characters that I have to rip mods off of for, right? Jabba. So I'd have to find new mods for all of those characters. If I wanted to mod them for a crazy amount of offense, here's the characters I would need to take their mods off of. And again, doing a remod would be brutal, but what I want to show, in this particular example, look, because of the mods I have, my health percent actually goes up. I do lose speed, right? I keep a lot of stuff, and then look, I gain a lot of offense, right? I do get a lot of offense here, but I lose some of my speed that I need that speed, right? I would like to have him a little bit higher than that. And then finally, if I was to mod him just for like all health for the sake of argument, I mean, gotta rip mods off of other characters here. And you can see that my speed goes down, my health goes up like crazy, my critical damage is going down, and my offense is plummeting. So that's why I say you want to find that balance between all of those stats where you're taking advantage of the entire character's kit. So again, that balance becomes important because it's not only that I'm wanting to have the best things for Kylo, but if I take mods off of all those characters to make those sets happen, does the rest of my roster get worse for the sake of one character getting better? And does that one character make enough of a difference? And in my personal opinion, even though he's a galactic legend, right, the best thing Kylo can do for you offensively, right, the best thing he can do for you offensively is beat a single team in Grand Arena. Now, you could say, oh, well, he could beat another galactic legend, but just the best thing he can do, right? A galactic legend for a galactic legend. That's the best you're going to get out of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He can't kill two teams. You just get one team. On defense, though, right, your best case scenario is that he holds for you. So, hey, there is that, right? Offense. That's the one thing with GLs on defense. Like, they have the potential to get a lot of holds that, whereas using them on offense, the best you do is you get to trade them. But your worst case scenario on defense is that your opponent finds a way to not use a galactic legend to kill him. And Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, there are non-galactic legend teams that kill him. So sacrificing all of those mods, what if you sacrifice that and then maybe you fail on offense, or maybe he gets one shot on defense, and now you've lost your best modded character to somebody who maybe just had a better strategy or something. So I don't know. Hopefully this video helps. Hopefully that mindset of it's not just the balance of the stats for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren himself, but also the balance within your roster, that I don't find it necessary to sacrifice every single great mod for one single character. I'd rather have really good mods on a lot of different characters, find that mix of really good mods, than find like the literal take all the best mods, put them on one character, and hope that that character has enough to carry me in GAC. I just don't see the value in that personally. I think I win a lot of my GACs because everything is well modded rather than one specific team that somebody can find a way to counter. So let me know your thoughts down below. Again, we're going to continue doing this for the rest of, the Galactic Legends. Again, with Kylo, just to summarize everything, health is important because the only way he can survive is through the health steal. But health steal is all dependent on how much damage he's dealing, so you want to have the offense. But you need to be able to take turns to deal damage to recover your health. So that's where kind of all of them come together to say, find that balance for your roster. Use Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.gg, see how your stats compare to your peers, and hopefully, you find the way to successfully, navigate that journey through your character. Like and subscribe, comment down below. I love all you. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.